You're listening to the Street 919 FM, your destination for the best music around. All the hits and timeless classics on the Street 919 FM.
Patrice again. Do.
The system.
Real woman don't mean that your hairdo. Pretty nails and shoes don't mean you have 2-3 man where you spend pan you. Woman, you confused. Real woman have them bang book, and we don't make excuse. If
you'll hear more about this next week. I have ridiculous faith. If I get a word and I decide to act on that word, rain, storm, hail, nothing or no one under the sun is going to stop me. And so I resigned. And of course, I know some of you all have those voices in your ears. You have people in your life that love you dearly, but they don't have as much faith as you do. Because I remember my mom saying to me, you resigned from 2 salaries. Then now you have to go and open this thing. What about the mortgage? What about this? What about that? And I said, Mom, just watch it unfold. And we're coming closer to the end of the month. And of course, you're hearing the siren. You're hearing the siren. But I operated on faith. And I am a quick and logical thinker. So I remember the first person I would have reached out to would have been my brother, who is a graphics designer who resides in Canada. And I said to him, this is what I've just done. And this is what I need. I need to change the website from School of Protocol. I need a logo for the Corporate Training Academy. And I need to just do that. And then I called my friend. You see, it's very important that you have key people in your network. So I called my friend, Natalie, and I said, Natalie, I need a website. I just did this. I just shifted from the School of Protocol to the Corporate Training Academy. So website is going up, graphics going up, and I started putting together all the course outlines. We're coming close to the end of the month, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to hear in my ears, I told you so. I reached out to a very, very dear friend of mine in Tobago, and I said to her, I'm coming to Tobago. This is what I want to do. I need a platform, I need a space to speak to the entrepreneurs, the business owners rather, and the corporate side of Tobago. And all I got was, don't worry about it, what do you need? And I had a day in Tobago where I would have spoken to the entire, so many people came out to hear what this training academy can do for their business. And I do, yes, Lisa is saying I have an advantage because I can speak. So I did communicate effectively the shift, the change, the entrepreneurship, the leap of faith. This is what I'm doing. And in less than a week, I was doing training in Tobago. Literally less than a week. And I kept expanding and expanding. And before you knew it, the Honorable Rav Gonzalez, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent, I trained 13 ministries in his government. I was off to St. Vincent doing amazing training, and it just kept building and growing. I'm saying all of this because so can you. You can do it as well. You can do it. Whatever that dream is, own it. Whatever that dream is, just start. One of the factors that work for me is discernment. I have a relationship with God that is indescribable. I don't say prayers, I pray. There's a difference. If you're building a relationship with somebody, your conversation with them changes. And then you become more discerning. And when you become more discerning, you have a directive. Because you don't want to be moved by every woman fancy. Too many people are moved by every woman fancy. And this is one of the things that I would say to anybody who is interested in starting their own business. Please keep your business to yourself initially. You see that planning phase? Stop telling every Tom, Dick, and Harry what you would like to do. They are dream killers. They are people who will kill your dream. They will steal your dream. They will trample on your ideas. They will create barriers and blockages for you on this journey called life. Protect yourself. Protect your story. Protect it. Because at the end of the day, this is your dream. This is your dream to be fulfilled, and only you can do it. Only you can do it. At the end of the day, we want to see a brighter tomorrow. We want to see some changes in society. That forget all the stigmas, all the you can't do it. That's not a woman's role. I have faced some challenges as well, but I am as bold as a lion. I am as bold as a lion. I can be ruthless at times. I'm very focused. Focus is one of the things. And you have to make sacrifices. I told you all, we have a powerhouse coming in tomorrow to be interviewed right here on A Woman's Worth, the powerhouse. We call her the Queen of Bacchanal, Miss Destra Garcia. And at the end of the day, one of the things that I always say, even when I'm mentoring young people, there is no elevation without separation. There is no elevation without separation. So at the end of the day, there are times when you have to separate yourself from some people, and you have to separate yourself from some things to accomplish your goals and to achieve what you would like to achieve. I know we have a lot of single mothers out there who are struggling, who are fighting to make ends meet, who are wondering what's going to happen, not just today, but post the 28th of April, what is going to take place. And I want to say to those single mothers that there are things that you can even do on your devices. You can assist with content. There's so many online, there's so many jobs you can do virtually, just in case you have to be at home with the younger ones. While the younger ones are asleep, start to write. You could write music, you could write a story, you could write a poem, you can start a blog. I'm helping some women today. I really want to help some women today, because at the end of the day, post the 29th of April, some of you do not know where your fate will lie, because you've placed it all in one basket, i.e., that job. That job. When you look at the quadrant, we call it the quadrant, there are 4 categories. There's employed, self-employed, business owners, and investors. And you can shift from being employed to becoming self-employed in the next 38 days just by shifting your mindset. Just by shifting your mindset. You could do the blogging, the podcasting. You can monetize your content. There's social media marketing. There's digital marketing. And I remember, let me just share this quick story. I was asked to speak to 175 young ladies a couple years ago via the Victim and Witness Support Unit. It was at Cascadia. I remember it as if it was yesterday. And when I arrived, the person who was speaking before me, nobody was really paying them much mind. They were talking, they were having their own conversations, they were just totally ignoring that person. And I had my whole speech prepared to come to pour into these young ladies, because mentorship is what I do. And as I was approaching the podium, I just heard, put down your tablet and speak from your heart. And I put my tablet down, I looked at them, and I said to them, some of you all are here today because you would have made choices and things would have gone in a different direction, but you're here today because you're free from that institution, from that place. Remember, it's the Victim and Witness Support Unit. So some of these young ladies would have been remanded, some of these young ladies would have served time, and they were all looking so bitter, battered, and bruised. And I started saying to them, so what's next? You are not your past. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow may never come, but today is what you have. So what are you going to do with your life from this day? And one shrugged their shoulders, and one said to me, well, miss, I don't have any education. And I believe she meant certification, because let me say this, there's a massive difference between certification and education. Education is knowledge, knowledge is power. Certification is a piece of paper that confirms that you studied a few things and you can now execute on a different level. So I started talking to them along those lines, and I asked a particular young lady, I said, prior to your incident, what were you good at? What were you good at prior to whatever got you in trouble, basically? And she said, well, miss, she said nothing first. I said, the worst lies are the ones we tell ourselves. I said, so let's think about this again. What were you good at? And she said, well, miss, I used to bake. I could well bake, miss. I said, and what can you bake? She said, cake and sweet bread, and she called something else, cake, sweet bread, and pay me. My girl could make pay me. And I said, so when you make these things, what happens? She said, well, I give it to my cousin, my neighbor, my aunt. I have friends, so they will come and they will taste it, and I would give it to them. I said, you give it to them as in at no cost? She paused. She said, yes, miss. I said, but if your gift's supposed to make room for you, that means you're supposed to be monetizing your gift. I said, you could have the next Linda's Bakery on the inside of you. She said, me, miss? Miss, I could own a business, miss. Miss, but I have a record. I said, I know where in any constitution says that because you have a record, you cannot start your own business. You see, there are a lot of assumptions and we tend to carry the weight of our past on our shoulders, and we weigh our own selves down, and we create these barriers for our own lives that don't really exist. Sometimes a lot of the barriers that we've created mentally, physically, and otherwise are all in our mind. And I started pouring into her. And then another young lady said, Miss, I like nails. Miss, I could really do nails, you know, Miss. So they opened, and I'm saying all of this because sometimes we go to talk to young people and the conversation is over their head. You have to speak to them on their level in layman terms so that they can relate and they can understand and they can be empowered to become. Michelle Obama has an amazing book called Becoming, because there's a journey to become. And the young lady who said to me she could do nails, I said, but I pay $275 to do my nails every month. I said, and if you call my nail tech now, you cannot get an appointment till probably the next few weeks. Let's assume she has at least 10 clients for the day. Do the math. She's under her mother's house. She's not paying any rent. Do the math. You can, and now she is moving, she's building her own house, she's doing so many things from what she's gifted to do. And my nail tech actually learned to do nails during the pandemic. There are so many opportunities out there for us as women to become entrepreneurs, to become leaders, to become a force to be reckoned with in so many different areas of our lives. And at the end of the day, I know some of the challenges as female entrepreneurs, managing time between business and family. I will say focus. Focus, and we need to make better choices. Because you can, lessen your time watching nonsense on TikTok and turn that same TikTok time into watching something that could uplift you, empower you. Notice I didn't say don't go on TikTok, because these social media platforms have educational stuff that can empower you. A lot of people who would normally call somebody out to fix something, they go to the University of YouTube. So social media has an advantage. We just have to use it wisely. At the end of the day, how many times, and this is a good exercise for people. Calculate how much time you really, honestly spend on social media that is not productive. It's just, okay, laughing will help your mental health, I get that. But let us stay within context. How many people are on social media bantering, bashing, getting involved in frivolous arguments, and all these things? And that same time on social media could be to learn a new skill so that you can become. So we're talking today about becoming. We're talking today about empowering female entrepreneurs, empowering single mothers. So I'm trying to take some of the nuggets that I would have had in a basket for you all for next week and pour it into today. And tomorrow, we don't have much time because tomorrow is just 11 to 12 because Desra will be coming on and taking over that full hour. So I want to pour as much as I can into you today, because from Monday, the wheels have shifted. We'll talk more about the shifting of the wheels as we come down to the end of the program. So I want to say to you all, yes, I'm responding to questions on the live as well. In terms of starting your own business, you can Google a lot of things, but I will tell you the first thing you need to think about is what type of business is it? Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's legal, obviously. But when you think of that business, think, and I'm using the word think. Don't just do this flippantly, because it's not something you want to be changing every day, every week, and every month. Think about the why of your business. Think about the vision for your business and choose a name that is appropriate, because the first step is to do a name search to ensure that nobody has the name that you've came up with or something similar, because if it is too similar, legal affairs will deny it, decline it, and then tell you to choose the next name. So just think. You want to have a nail shop? You think. You want to start baking? Think. Mechanic, whatever, it doesn't matter. Sell books, make whatever, even start a radio station, whatever. Think about what that name, and there's power in a name. Don't be calling things names that make no sense. Some people, you have a business and what does your name mean? I don't know, I saw it online. Okay, so then the name doesn't tie into the vision. Do you have a vision for your business? They start to stutter. There are three things you need: a vision, which is where you're going over a period of time, and the mission is what will guide you to get there, and then your core values. You can have a core value statement, or you can have core value as in words. Some people have core value words, and some people have an actual statement. Don't worry about you can't worry about everything, and create a journey, create a plan for what you're going to do with this business. And do not hang your hat where your hand cannot reach. Do not go renting a building that costing thousands of dollars when you're not sure what the next month is going to look like. Start small, grow, changes will come, challenges will come, and I'm coming to that question, Marcia. All these things will come. So the question is, how do you deal with gender biases in entrepreneurship? Now, my fearless answer will be, it's something that you can override. I'm not saying your journey will be as easy as somebody else, because we all have different personalities and different characteristics. But when you're faced with it, I mean, Patrice, who would have been interviewed a while ago, would have shared how difficult it was for her to even get financing as a female when she started her business. You know, I'm going to say this, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritually grounded. And we have to dispel some of the myths and some of those sayings that make absolutely no sense, in my personal opinion. Like, money is the root of all evil. I don't know where they got that from, because that was not the original scripture in the first place. But watch this. So the left side says money is the root of all evil. So they create a fear that you're not supposed to have too much money. You're just supposed to have enough to get by. But then on the right side, you read further down, you know. You can't just read on the left and don't read on the right. You have to read further down. It says money answereth all things. So help me to understand, if money is the root of all evil, but yet it answereth all things, which side you prefer to be on? The side that says to you, be fearful of money, don't take the deep dive, don't invest in yourself, don't invest in your business, stay working like a dog till you die, or money answereth all things? You know, when growing up, even when I was in school, it was make sure you study. Both my parents were advocates for a good education. Make sure you study and you work hard, and then you will get this good supposed government job, and you work until pension, and then can you really realistically live off the pension? And I would have had a shift in my mindset. When I was living in London, I would have had the pleasure to meet Sir Richard Branson. And for those of you all who don't know who he is, he's a global conglomerate owner. He owns Virgin Atlantic, Virgin Mobile, Virgin, there's more. He has a boat, he has Virgin, all sorts. Virgin everything, Sir Richard Branson. And he would have been the sponsor, actually, for Notting Hill Carnival the year that I won, when I became the first woman to win the Calypso Monarch in London. He was the sponsor for the carnival. And we were at the reception, and I asked his bodyguard, I said, is it possible I can have a word with Sir Richard Branson, please? And he looked at me and he said, you're the lady who won, innit? And I said, yes, and I am nervous because this is years ago, this decades ago. And he whispered to him, and he got up and he walked across to me and he said, everyone wants a photo. You would like to have a word. Have a seat. So I sat down, and my belly growling because this is Sir Richard Branson. I said, I just have one question, sir. I said, what is the secret to your success? And he looked at me and he sat back into the seat because he was a little bit off the seat. And he said, you sure you're ready for this? I'm like, yes. And he said to me, multiple streams of income. And he said to me also, he said, pay attention to me in the next year and you will hear about Virgin Mobile. And the next year he bought over T-Mobile, and we got Virgin Mobile in the UK. And then the Virgin Hotels is the one I was trying to remember. Then he has a chain of hotels. Now he has a cruise line, and he has so much. I never forgot that piece of advice. multiple streams of income. And that's when I decided I did not want this one job thing. So I wear a few hats for that deliberate reason, and I have the flexibility. You have the flexibility to do things. I have, when I'm finished here on radio, I have meetings and stuff because I'm heavily involved in what would have been announced on the 20th of April, i.e. the general elections. We'll talk more about that. But at the end of the day, this is to empower you, to educate you, to give you a cushion. Because, sometimes, ladies, sometimes, you have a dream and it's weighing down your heart, it's weighing down your soul, it's weighing down your spirit, and you just needed to hear somebody. Doesn't even have to be somebody that you know. Just somebody say, you know what? If you dream it, you could own it. That's about the power of affirmations. If you dream it, you can own it. You can have anything you want. If you can call me, 342-0081, 466-5391, you can have anything you want in this life legally. Trust me, you can have it. Your mind is what needs to change. From a fixed mindset, you have a little fixed things that need to stay fixed, to a growth mindset. And at the end of the day, you cannot be scared of money. Stop that nonsense. Stop being afraid of money. You need it. You need it. I didn't get here this morning to do radio without money because I did not walk to get here. I did not walk to get here. So I drove. I didn't drive a bike. I drove my SUV. I did not steal the SUV. I had to pay for the SUV. We have a caller coming in. Caller, you're live. Good morning. Welcome to A Woman's Worth.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Right. You can have anything you want. With me, I always tell myself I need a scholarship to study abroad.
Mm-hmm.
And what I used to do at home, I am looking on TV for life abroad in school, training abroad.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept my goal. And then I tell myself, I need a scholarship. And I'm not studying in Trinidad. When I get what I wish, I got a scholarship because I kept focus. You have to keep focus on what you want. It didn't go through 1 year when I wanted it, but the next year they called me and tell me you have a scholarship.
Wonderful.
And I went. And all the, you're growing up, you're telling yourself, would I ever go to London or these?
Well, London might be a little tricky now, huh?
No, I got that. With the scholarship, I went to Greece, I went to Netherlands, so you have to keep focus.
Correct.
When I came home, I said I want a car. And every Audi I see, I'm claiming it. You have to claim it.
Correct.
That's my car. That is my car. Eventually, you get what you want. And then the last thing, I wanted to do some renovation. Somebody telling me do small renovation. I said, no, God will supply my need.
Faith.
Out. You have to have that faith.
Yes.
So faith, believe, keep focus.
I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, caller. Caller, good morning.
Yes, hello, good morning. Mr. Lewis. I'm the gentleman who would have called you and you had a question about the former doctors of two daughters.
Okay, hi.
It was either Monday or Tuesday. Hi, good day. What I will say quickly as well, and I think when I understand what you're saying here, I think part of it also, we have to, women has, human beings in general, we have to, yes, we believe in our social codes, our moral codes, but I believe some of them are keeping us back. We shouldn't do this because a woman, and a man should do it because he...
all these negative things.
You are a man, stand up as a man and do what you're supposed to do. You're a woman, do what you're supposed to do. And I think that is one of our, we are locked in certain social and religious, and I'm not bashing no one. That is just a broad statement.
I understand and I agree with you totally.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to go. Because I just drive those big trailer trucks.
Right.
I love cooking.
See?
So my wife and I are looking to find ways. And my 3 children, we are looking to work accordingly and see what we can do. So we have to pick ourselves and work around the things. The good book said, God help those who help themselves. So
Yes.
we believe in the good book. Pick up yourself and go and do something.
Yeah, some of them believe, and their belief system is in a different place. They're saying they believe, but they don't believe one bit. They believe when it's convenient to them.
Exactly.
Because a lot of people talk about faith, but faith without works is dead. You can't sit, well, I have faith, and yes, the Lord will provide. And you sit down in a rocking chair, waiting for the Lord to provide. And you forget the rest of the line that says, with works, you need to do the work. You need to do something.
And one final thing, when it comes to our health, same thing. Don't eat this. You continue eating and doing certain things, we get sick. Oh Lord, God will help. It's God. Because not God work. God will not punish us or make us get sick. It's we will do things to get sick. So we
Correct.
have to pick up ourselves and take care of ourselves.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, caller. I appreciate it.
You're most welcome. Locked on listening and always looking out for your program.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. I want to talk a bit. The caller mentioned something very interesting. He mentioned health. And listen to me. You see that health part? And let me say good morning to everybody, to Bishop Gary George and all my loved ones, Prophetess Agnes George at Jesus Elam, where I used to attend the Love Stays and the Covenant Stays. I used to attend, and I remember on Tuesdays we had deliverance service. And I would be helping Prophetess with this service, and people are coming, and people are getting their deliverance, and people are being healed, and all of that is taking place. And one day I said, actually I was preaching, and I said to them, the same people cannot be coming in the line every Tuesday. Why aren't you being healed? Because you coming to whisper in our ears when we're about to lay hands and pray with you and stuff. And you're saying, the doctor say I have type this and something, diabetes. And yeah, but the doctor also said, and research also says that you need to avoid the sweet stuff. Because as soon as you're finishing the service, you're downstairs in the church cafeteria eating all the sweet stuff. So how it making sense? So if you have the faith to be healed, you have to do the positive works that will generate the healing. So it comes down to the same. Our mindsets need to shift. We're talking about entrepreneurs. We're talking about faith. We're talking about women in leadership. We're talking about single mothers. And I really want us to not be so dependent. Many people. Somebody is calling. Hold on. Oh, welcome to A Woman's Worth. Good morning.
Good morning.
Pleasant good morning.
Okay. Well, for respect state, I will say I am President Trinidad and Tobago Villager.
Hi.
I would say good morning to Trinidad and Tobago again, too.
Good morning.
Now, the reason why I call your program is because your program has some serious insights. Insights that will help the average human.
Thank you.
Which don't recognize the mind.
They
don't recognize the self.
True.
The self from born to the day they reach to the extinguishing days.
Wow.
No, you say earlier on that you don't really follow religion, but you're spiritually inclined, which is very important.
Yes.
Now, where I want to go is certain statements you make early on in approaching your thought, approaching your interest. Now, you don't really gain interest when you get big, aside from that you started to gain interest since you're small.
Right. Yes.
Now, what happens to many of us mind? And according to the kind of life they put us to live, you have to say put us to live, because through slavery and all the indoctrinations and so forth that they bring us through. And to part of the last statement he was using, we lost a lot of ourselves to self-understanding of our own self.
You're preaching, man.
Right. Our own self of our senses, which our senses attains what we call truth out of the existence, which truth basically also is nature of the existence, because no man teaches Man might help you to understand what they learn, what they understand
Correct.
from the existence. But truth is that the human mind understands or learns from his experience. And his experience comes from nature. It comes from the existence. Now, we go back to the interest. That what you interested in, even from a baby, now you make your child. But you start to watch the child because you have to watch the child. See exactly how the child, what motions it making, what it desire. Because a child don't know it wants food before it belly start to say food. Because when it inside your belly, it ain't know it want food, it just get food.
True.
But when it comes outside, in the environment of existence, we put in the day because when it was in the belly, it was in a void that the creator alone knows. But when it come out in this existence, this is where now it starts to adapt in this existence, out of this existence, the principle that this existence need for it to survive. Right, so in the teaching of a child from early o'clock is when the interest part of the mind is needed to be developed. Now, in plenty of parenting, I observe through myself and all, that what a child interest start to show, parents neglect it, divert themselves away from it, don't create an atmosphere where the child could follow its interest, but also in doing that, they try to give the child their own interest.
Right.
Which don't really come up because eventually, in the mind of the growing child needing truth, that's the next thing too. Lying to a mind from early brings that mind to sometime in the future disrespect you.
Lying to the mind, you say, you know.
Yes,
Deep.
my friend.
Yes.
Every iota, I like to use that word because I have a whole Grenadian parentage.
Right.
Grenadian Vincentian, we have some words from a long time ago.
I have some family down there too.
Right. Now, in that respect, what goes on here is that the mind is such a thing of growth, of experiencing this existence that it really needs the truth to live.
Correct.
Every question that the mind from a child asks, it needed the answer. It don't care if the child had us to know that it comes from a belly, but you tell the child it comes from an aeroplane. What would happen later? You bring this cord with you and your child. If the child now start to learn the truth from somebody down the road, now
Yes.
look what happens in life. Because what you learn from down the road now, you bring it home. You know, no, man, here like that. Because
Exactly.
she tell you the truth. You bring something home now, she want to beat you for what you learned down the road, but she's the fault. Or he is the fault. No lie to no human being is good. Because that is why the world today is lying to the self. Because lying to the world or lying to somebody, you ain't doing no lie yet. When you do that, you deceive your own self.
Understood.
Right now, I could say a lot, and put it in there for every mind, because we have a lot of lazy mind, not only lazy, but lack of wisdom that of them own mind to progress.
And without
And
people perish.
Yeah, why I'm coming on you is to let go of that within your conversation and even may help you too, because I actually recognize how much accolades you're talking. And I could see where you reached to that because you're actually aware of certain circumstances of the mind. And I really bring that to you to let you recognize it, hear it, and even to share it, because many of the minds need to know.
I appreciate that.
Interest from small, the basic interest, to grow with that interest, is so important. Take it up, have the faith according to what they know, because you can't have of what you don't know.
True.
You have to have faith of what you're aware of. So to know that, yes, I could do that because I have that culmination of thought that could bring a result. You see what I'm saying here?
Understood totally. I appreciate it, caller.
So I will leave you there in the sense of putting that basic point will make me come inside. To give the world that consciousness, and you're saying the woman and them, which is nice to my mind in respect, because even women and us don't understand the liberated rights of human beings. What we want them to say are equal to man. You know, equal to man. Man is man, woman is woman. That is why you have a liberated consciousness of being a woman. A man is a fool when he feels he could make you. He can't make you. The woman neither. She can't make a man. But what she could do, she could support the man, help the man, give the man consciousness so the man could make growth. If you don't want to listen, well, anybody who don't want to listen, you got to leave them alone eventually. Man and woman both right. Right? So this
I appreciate it.
Very clear that you tell the world the truth. Don't lie to the children.
Yes.
And respect the children's interest. What's their interest? So you could improve on the interest. Change is inevitable. So that in time now, even so you had a first interest, which is that first spirit that your soul attained, then it could change in time because change is inevitable. One moment changes to the next moment and could bring a different consciousness in that next moment.
Awesome. Thank you so much, caller.
To give and show the truth about growth. Since you are parents and woman show and develop, let plenty people develop that truth of interest in children from baby up so that they could take the growth, and many parents and women will learn also. I thank you there for that piece of inspiration because I am a soul of myself that carries truth within. When I reached that word they call truth, I realized the power of it. That I will give you a statement here and it's across already that I let go. The word, oh God.
I appreciate it.
It's just a supreme word.
Yes.
It do not carry an identity. It do not carry an entity. And because it do not do that, the mind of human is wandering. That is why he kills the way he do, because he knows not himself. He don't know that God that is within him, and the God that is in him is the word they call truth.
I appreciate it.
Truth exists. Truth omni. That is what exists. And if we don't know that, we yet not know God. So all how we turn around, the truth that we're supposed to look at, see it, understand that our senses actually realizing all those things, to face nature, to deal with nature, to perceive from nature, that truth is away from us until we move that word, that supreme word, not move it, but understand what the supreme word as a supreme word entails.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, caller.
When we find that one word, then we reach to understanding and seeing God.
Awesome.
God is truth.
Thank you so much, caller. I appreciate it. I appreciate the nuggets. I appreciate the dialogue, because this is what it's all about, you know, us engaging and empowering others. 3420081, 4665391. You know, there's power. The power of mindset in achieving success is so crucial, and how mindset shapes success, not just in business but in your everyday life, and how we can overcome self-doubt and that imposter syndrome. The role of affirmations, visualization, and your goal setting while developing resilience and a growth mindset. You know, you can achieve it. If you could dream it, you could own it. And I really appreciate, you know, the three callers who would have contributed to what we're discussing. So this is A Woman's Worth on Street 91.9 FM. I am your host, Wendy H. Lewis. We have another caller on the line. Caller, good morning. Caller, please take your... Okay. All right. Please turn the volume on your phone or your radio or whatever it is down completely, because with the static I will not be able to hear you when you call. So caller, you can try again, 342-0081, 342-0081, or 466-5391. The lines are open. We're having an open discussion for International Women's Month as we bring this week to an end in terms of all the amazing women who would have shared their insights and their journeys with us. And today we would have had Patrice Ramkarand, a female contractor of over 2 decades. And we're talking about the power of mindset in achieving success. We're talking about entrepreneurship. We're empowering and giving nuggets to our women, especially this morning. I just have a passion this morning to just pour into single mothers. You're not alone, you know. You're not alone. Welcome to A Woman's Worth. Good morning.
Hi, sorry about that just now there.
No problem. Good morning.
I used to go to Jesus Iran also, and I'm trying to remember you. Were you the lead vocalist in the choir? In the choir?
No. I'm an ordained minister. I never sang in the choir. I would have been one who may have read announcements, may have done the affirmations in the morning, may have opened in prayer at some point, may have facilitated training, may have preached at some point in time.
Okay, well, I'm trying to place your voice, but I can't remember.
That's okay. Or what's your contribution?
No, that's it. Because,
okay.
I was trying to place you,
No problem. I'll be there for 3 days in the belly of the earth.
Okay.
All right, so I am still very much in touch with Bishop Gary George and Prophetess Agnes George, real covenant lasts.
Okay.
Real covenant, not this because you decide you're not attending is a whole drama. No, we have no drama. Jesus Elam is, they hold them dear in my heart. And Bishop Gary George is a powerful, anointed man of God.
Of course.
And Prophetess Agnes George has poured into me so that I am now in a position to pour into somebody else. So, you have to pay it forward in different areas. So thank you so much for the call. I appreciate you. And I'll see you if you're showing up for 3 days in the belly of the earth next month. I'll be showing up one of the nights.
Okay, then.
I'll be there. So God bless you. Thank you so much.
God bless.
You too. Okay, bye-bye. Yeah, so we're here. We're on A Woman's Worth. We're empowering, we're uplifting. And I was talking about, I don't know what it is today. Probably a single mother under the sound of my voice just needed to hear that somebody cares. Somebody cares. And this is a sensitive topic in terms of single mothers. And sometimes a mother is single not because the father worthless, circumstances. We have single mothers who are single mothers because the fathers have passed away. You have single mothers who are single mothers because things ain't work out the way it's supposed to work out. And at the end of the day, mothers are the nurturing ones, and the majority of mothers tend to hold on to the children. But I also want to say this because I don't have a feminist movement. The NGO that I lead is not a feminist movement. We need men. In the middle of International Women's Month, I want to say we need men. We love you all unconditionally. We salute you all. We applaud your efforts. Where you may have slipped, we will help you. But we love the men. And we have single fathers as well who are doing what they need to do to nurture and raise our children the best way they know how. And one of the things the second to last caller said, he spoke about the same myths I would have referred to way back in the day. These Gen Zs and millennials are very different. And I remember when I was on television, actually, we had a panel discussion about the village that once raised the child. If you go on YouTube and type in the village that once raised a child, you will see the entire conversation. And the discussion was surrounding, can we return to the days when a village once raised a child? My honest personal opinion is no, we can't, because the village ain't the same. Simple. The village raised the child because the village was nurturing. The village had power. Your village had power, you know. You walk that street and don't tell Miss Isa good morning. And she tell your mother that you passed and you didn't say good morning. Problems. That is the village that once raised the child. This village here, Father help us. Good morning is not even in some people's vocabulary. Sometimes I wonder what is happening. And I do a program called Parents versus Parenting. And I say anybody could be a parent, but are you parenting? Do you understand what is the role of a mother? What is the role of a father? And when I started doing the program locally, and even I would have had several interviews with Phyllis in New York on her program, and we realized that this parent versus parenting is bigger than we think, because you're trying to tell a parent about parenting, but then that parent is really still a child. Long ago, when things when things didn't happen according to the good book, and teenagers became mothers, the grandmother of the child is who would have raised the child, because it had to be a secret, you know. You have to cover it up, and you think, well, Miss Soba is so disappear, and look, she come back with this child, not knowing that it's really her grandchild that she's raising as a child, because all these things were stigmatized, and you didn't have room for errors and mistakes long ago. But now in the 21st century, with these Gen Zs and millennials, they have a different mindset. And I'm not saying that you need to have 100% growth mindset, you know, because there's a percentage of things that need to remain fixed, like ethics and morals and all these things. So you need to have the right balance of your fixed and your growth mindset. But these young people, as the caller before the caller said, speak truth. And interestingly enough, watch how the universe works. I am doing this book. It's a workshop. It's a workbook, rather. It's a journal with one of my besties. One Day My Soul just opened up by Ian Lavanzant. And the first topic, because it's 40 days, 40 nights of different topics, and it's engaged. You can start whenever you want to start. Ideally, we should have started Ash Wednesday. That did not happen. Don't worry about that part. We've started all the same. And the first topic is truth. And the worst lies are the ones we tell ourselves. Your truth is your truth. Your truth doesn't have to be my truth, you know. But I have to be so truthful to myself that I acknowledge that your truth is your truth, and I don't have to buy into your truth whilst I'm being true to myself. Hope all of that makes sense. You understand what I'm saying? So truth is a very deep thing. Truth is a very, very deep thing. To exercise truth, you better know the truth. To exercise truth. At the end of the day, you get to see, you get to know, you get to understand a lot of things when it's coming to truth. Do you speak your truth? Speak the truth. Let me talk to my people on my YouTube, because they will get jealous if I'm talking to people on Facebook and I'm not talking to people. Andre, yesterday was my first day listening to your program. It's very inspiring. Respect to you. Thank you so much, Andre. This one, we need a change in government. We will talk about that next week. Next week, we're dealing with politics. Next week. Next week, we come in there. So to everybody who is now locked on the YouTube Live, welcome. Thank you all for logging on and tuning in. Those on the Facebook Live, thank you so much. Those in the WhatsApp group, thank you. The conversation continues. We just have a couple more minutes. And at the end of the day, I want you all to recognize that you could have it all, you know. You can literally have it all. Let me add this powerful word at the end. You can have it all legally. You don't have to cross. You don't have to do, no. You just need to understand it, because knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Once you know it and you can apply it, you could achieve it. But then you have to be able to be committed enough to sustain it. And I want to say thank you to old school mothers. So my mom, who might be locked on, because listen to me, if you clash with them soaps, mother or no mother, she'll watch you rerun, you know. But I love her like food. So to my mom, if you're locked in and you're tuned in, thank you. thank you for being the old school mother that you are, but you also had that shift in mindset to recognize that this is not there back then. I was blessed. You see, what happening too now, I have no problem if you're going abroad on vacation when school term ends. You go on your vacation, you do you. My vacation was 6 Company, New Grant, by my grandmothers, and then I had my next grandmother in Coquier, and then I had a great aunt in Labray, and it's old school. All these old sayings. I have some friends in London who used to call me Tanty because I forever have an old school saying. Because they would have poured some things on the inside of me that I still hold fast to today. Still. Interestingly enough, little things. And a lot of these things we need to hold on. Ladies, you have a role and a function, and it's to be the best version of you. Best version of you. There are some things that old school things, what are some of the old school things you would have heard back in the day that still apply? My grandmother, well, she wasn't talking to me. She wasn't talking to the grandchildren at the time. At the time, it would have been the aunts and the children. She used to talk about simple things. You see, those old underwears, throw them away. She used to say, if you're falling in the road, you need to make sure you have on a proper underwear. These are very important things. Don't go to sleep with dirty dishes in the sink. My mother woke me up at 2 a.m. I was very upset, but back then you have to keep all that upset to yourself and swallow hard. And mommy was working shift, and she came, I think it was a 2 to 10 shift she was working. So mommy would have reached home by about 10:30 and saw that bowl in that sink, Trinidad and Tobago. She saw the bowl in the sink. After she did say, don't go to sleep with the dirty dishes in the sink, you think she will wake me up at 10:35 so that I could get back into my groove? No, she didn't do that. I remember it like yesterday. Cricket was going on. My mother had a shower. She got something to eat. She put the coolers in the head. She sit down. She watch the cricket. She turned, she twist, she turned, she twist. And when it was 2 a.m., you all know how sweet a sleep is at 2 a.m.? Wake me up. And I'm like, I think it was something. The house probably burning down. Mommy, what was... No, don't talk. The ball in the sink. And yet, don't even but. The bowl in the sink, not staying in the sink. Go and wash it. I had to get up. Look at how the fellas in the studio laughing at me. I had to get up, walk downstairs, keep my troops to myself internally. Don't let nothing come out, Wash my bowl, put my bowl on the draining board, come back upstairs, close my eye tight, and go back to sleep. You could do that now. Children will shoot and roll over on you, yes? I couldn't do those things up to today. I kid you all not. I feel uncomfortable if I'm walking upstairs, because my house is 2-story. So I'm walking upstairs and I'm like, where's in the sink, boy? Look, I'm 53, but it's still embedded in me. And I'm feeling guilty, I'm backpedaling. You know what? Let me just wash this glass or wash this whatever. And there's no mother in my house. My mother does not live with me. But still, those morals, those things are instilled in me. So I say to you, it have some villagers still in the village, but the village is not the same. We need to have better conversations with our children. We need to have better conversations with even our sons, We need to have better conversations. We used to have family meeting. Well, I am calling it a meeting. A family discussion every Friday. And the basis of that discussion used to be anything that happened during the week that you want to talk about. Well, I would my brothers will always have a complaint, Wendy say and Wendy did, and Wendy too bossy, and yeah, whatever. And then I will have a complaint too because they left me and they were supposed to. And we these things may sound trivial and petty, but at the time we having a proper conversation, And mommy would probably say to one of my brothers, you cannot leave your sister when you go to pick up your sister. You cannot just take her book bag and walk off. Walk with your sister. Hold her hand. Simple things, So then he learned that you are the big brother and you need to act your role. You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, This has been an amazing, amazing session. We're wrapping up, we're winding down. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow, you know. Tomorrow I'll be here from 11. Tomorrow I'll be here from 11. Well, technically I'll be here before, but that's not the point. I'll be live from 11. And we have the Queen of Bacchanal. My personal friend, McGill for Life, Destra Garcia, will be on tomorrow talking about her journey and her contribution to how she has accelerated action in her journey as we commemorate International Women's Month this week. So let me just give you all some information. Because you listen to me, you're a real political boy. Everybody asking about next week. Next week, I'll be here. I shall be here next week, and we will talk about politics from a different place, a different space, and you'll be guided. And just remember, when you get guidance, it's up to you. If eat the meat and leave the bone from next week. Let me put it that way. From next week, Monday, eat the meat, leave the bone. What doesn't apply to you, keep it moving. If it applies to you, you grab it and run. But at the end of the day, we have a moral and ethical responsibility as to what we do with our lives post the 28th of April. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Have an awesome, awesome day on purpose, and be safe on the nation's roadway. Women's Month, the month of March. Throughout the program, you will hear inspiring stories of trailblazing women. We will be engaging in meaningful conversations about gender equality and spotlight the voices of those making a difference in their communities. So whether you're a leader, mother, a professional, an entrepreneur, or just a young woman trying to find your path, this is the program for you. This is your time, this is your space, this is your celebration. Join us right here on Street 91.9 FM.
A woman's worth.
Attention business owners. Are you looking to reach a vast audience and boost your brand's visibility? Then look no further. The Street 919 FM is here to help you shine. With over 170,000 followers on our social media platforms, our radio station is the perfect platform to showcase your products and services. Join us and let your message be heard by thousands of eager listeners. Contact us now to learn more about our affordable advertising packages. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to connect with your target audience. Advertise with the Street 919 FM today. For more information, call 399-5959, 384-2232, or 378-1470.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the Street 919 FM.
I want to wish you the best of luck. You're a fighter, and I know side by side in the coalition of interest, steps will help us fix it.
Indeed, thank you for that endorsement.
This Saturday, 22nd March, all roads lead to the PEP Mass Rally at our St. Joseph office, Bamboo number 1. Come hear our powerful lineup of speakers, including yours truly, deliver the blueprint for rescuing our country. There'll be bouncy castles and face painting for the kids, and good food and drinks galore. Family activities start from 2 p.m. and the political meeting starts at 5. Bring the whole family and come. We stand united. Together, we will fix it.
Come party.
Hey, what's up? This is your boy Major Hype, and guess what? It's all about Tobago. We're getting ready for Tobago. That's right, it all takes place in Tobago, Scarborough, Pigeon Point. Everybody come out, let me have a good time and let me enjoy ourselves now, man. It's all about comedy and party. It's gonna be a crazy. Man, you see that I can't take with all you. All right, let me do this.
Listen, not a party, it's party. Let's have a party. You don't listen.
You can't win everything, brother.
The teeth in me right through, but it's okay.
Comedy Party, Friday, 18th April. Fairways Tobago Plantation, featuring Caribbean King of Comedy, Major Hype and Friends. Friday, 18th April. Get your tickets at Cache stores nationwide. Fairways Restaurant in the Lounge Plantation. Jenny's on the Boulevard. All E-Clip Eli locations, and online at islandetickets.com. Comedy show and party with all the top DJs.
Comedy and party. Have a party. We're gonna have a party after the comedy.
Sponsored by Cache, top-ranking guest house and tours, and Jenny's on the Boulevard.
of Spain, Point Fortin. It's your turn to laugh like never before. Alternative International Comedy Festival featuring comedy star Damian Melville in concert with added drama, including Damian Melville as Dr. Rowley.
Listen to that. There's never a day you could wake up and you hear, what a lovely day. What beautiful sunshine. Let me go on the beach. Let me go and check my neighbor I haven't seen for a while. All you just get from them is yang, 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 yang. That is all.
Coming to Winifred Atwell Auditorium, Queens Hall, Saturday, March 22nd, and Mahica Oval Sporting Complex, Point Fortin, Saturday, March 29th. Both shows, 7 p.m. Get tickets today and save a fantastic $50 while stock lasts at islandetickets.com. Caches, Port of Spain, Gulf City Mall, Trin City Mall, Michelle's Arima, Passad the Food King, and Food Fantasy, Point Fortin, Valini's, San Fernando, Crosby, St. James, Extra Food Supermarkets, nationwide. For more info, call Alternative Festival Hotline at 774-5555.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
News from the Street 919fm.com. Here's what's happening.
Good afternoon. This is the Midday News, broadcasting on the Street 919 FM. In your headlines, Patriotic Front ready with 14 candidates. UNC prepares. Full slate of candidates. Prime Minister Young responds to bullying allegations. First cabinet meeting under Prime Minister Young. Internationally, Trump to order plan to shut down the U.S. Education Department. Now for the news in detail. Patriotic Front leader Mikola Pandey has declared her party ready for the April 28 general elections. In a video posted to social media, Pandey encouraged supporters to vote, emphasizing the party's symbol, the heart. The PF has announced 14 candidates so far, including Aretha Paula Clark for Tobago West, Thelston Jagu for Claxton Bay, and Dr. Naomi Gopising for Faizabad. The party has pledged governance reforms, focusing on accountability, transparency, and meritocracy. In further news, as the election date was announced by Prime Minister Stuart Young, the United National Congress had confirmed 11 candidates. Chairman Davendranath Tanku assured the party is mission ready and will soon finalize its full slate. UNC leader Kamla Persad Bisasar reiterated that her party will not contest Tobago seats, stating that Tobagonians should choose their own representatives. She also announced alliances with the Laventille Outreach for Vertical Enrichment Movement, the Progressive Empowerment Party, and the Oilfields Workers Trade Union, with discussions ongoing with the Congress of the People. Among UNC's confirmed candidates are Vandana Mohit for Chaguanas East, Saddam Hussein for Barataria San Juan, and Wayne Sturge for Toko Sangre Grande. Meanwhile, in news, Prime Minister Stuart Young addressed an alleged bullying incident from his school days at St. Mary's College, saying it was being politicized. He acknowledged the seriousness of bullying, but avoided directly confirming or denying allegations made by journalist Lassana Liburd and Imran Khan's family. Young urged the public to focus on solutions for school bullying, adding that he is committed to ensuring schools are safe spaces for all children. In more news, Prime Minister Stuart Young chaired his first cabinet meeting, described as pleasant and positive. Ministers are reportedly addressing him by his first name, signaling a more collaborative leadership style. New Finance Minister Vishnu Dhanpal also attended the meeting. Parliamentary experts have confirmed his appointment was valid, despite the dissolution of Parliament the next day. They clarified that ministers can begin duties upon taking their ministerial oath, even before the Senate reconvenes. In international news, President Donald Trump is set to sign an executive order on Thursday directing the shutdown of the U.S. Education Department, according to a White House official. The move aligns with his campaign promise to eliminate the agency, long criticized by conservatives. Trump has labeled the department as wasteful and influenced by liberal ideology. However, dissolving it entirely would require congressional approval, as it was established by Congress in 1979. A White House fact sheet states that the order will instruct Education Secretary Linda McMahon to begin the process of closing the department and shifting education authority back to the states, while ensuring continuity in essential services. Trump's administration has already significantly cut the department's workforce, slashed funding for the Office for Civil Rights, and reduced the budget for the Institute of Education Sciences. Advocates argue that eliminating the department would worsen educational inequality. The National Parents Union stated, "This isn't fixing education. It's making sure millions of children never get a fair shot." The White House has not specified which functions will be absorbed by other departments or eliminated. At her confirmation hearing, McMahon pledged to maintain key initiatives such as Title I funding for low-income schools and Pell Grants for college students. The Education Department manages billions of dollars in federal student loans and funding for public schools, which rely on federal contributions for about 14% of their budgets. While Republicans have long pushed for its closure, recent efforts have faced bipartisan resistance. During Trump's first term, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos attempted to restructure K-12 funding into block grants, but Congress rejected the plan. Despite Trump's strong stance against federal oversight in education, even some of his allies question whether he has the authority to close the department without congressional approval. Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Trinidad and Tobago's national football team will be without Levi Garcia and two other key players for their CONCACAF Gold Cup qualifying match against Cuba. The first leg is set for tomorrow at 4 p.m. in Santiago. Head coach Dwight York initially selected 26 players, but will now travel with 23. While York confirmed Garcia and defender Jamal Jack's absences, he remained silent on why midfielder Kevin Molino will not be joining the squad. He is unavailable for this game. Afterward, we will reevaluate the situation, York stated when pressed on Molino's status. Garcia, currently with Spartak Moscow, is out due to injury, continuing a pattern of prolonged absences from the national team. York acknowledged that losing Garcia is a significant setback, stating, "We all know how important Levi is to this team." Meanwhile, Jack, a veteran defender, is unable to travel due to passport and visa issues. With Justin Garcia also ruled out due to injury, Jack was a likely candidate to replace him in the squad. Despite these setbacks, Yorkie remains confident. "We expect my team to perform, and I have no doubt in the quality we possess, despite losing 3 key players." York emphasized the importance of qualifying for the Gold Cup, stating that participation in major tournaments is crucial for the team's development ahead of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers in June. The coach expects experienced players such as Jovan and Alvin Jones to step up in the absence of key starters. Tomorrow's match will be York's first competitive game in charge, following friendly losses to Saudi Arabia and Jamaica. York anticipates a tough challenge against Cuba, especially with their home field advantage. "We have to be resilient, determined, and have the right structure and balance in the team," he concluded. In your weather forecast, the weather for today until midnight is expected to be mostly fair and hazy, with brief isolated showers possible. During the nighttime, conditions will remain mostly fair. Sahara dust is present in the atmosphere, and individuals sensitive to this phenomenon are advised to take necessary precautions. The maximum temperature is expected to reach 34 degrees. Seas will be moderate, with waves reaching up to 2.0 meters and possibly up to 2.5 meters in the Leeward Islands in open waters. In sheltered areas, wave heights are expected to remain below 1.0 meter. Recapping the headlines: Patriotic Front ready with 14 candidates. UNC prepares. Full slate of candidates. Prime Minister Young responds to bullying allegations. First cabinet meeting under Prime Minister Young. Internationally, Trump to order plan to shut down the U.S. Education Department. That was your News on the Street 919 FM. Do have a safe and productive day.
News from the street. News from the street. 919fm.com.
T&T come prepared for non-stop laughter and bacchanal. Randy Glasgow Productions' Alternative International Comedy Festival is coming to Queen's Hall, Port of Spain, this Saturday, March 22nd, and Mahaica Oval Sporting Complex, Point Fortin, Saturday, March 29th. Tickets are running low, so get yours today at advertised outlets nationwide and islandetickets.com before all are gone. For more info, call the 24-hour Comedy Festival hotline, 7745-5555. The HTC is making it easier to secure your lease. Now is the time